This is basically Toyota's version of VTEC. Little sound check. Like loosey-goosey and a grandma car. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we've got another viewer's car. This is Esmond's Toyota Corolla T-Sport from 2002. And I have to admit, I had never heard of this car. It even has a more powerful brother, the T-Sport compressor, or compressor, T-Sport, Sport, whatever, with 225 horsepower and a supercharged version of this engine. And well, it's got quite a few good ingredients to be a lot of fun. So today I'm going to show you around it, show you everything on this car, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to receive updates when we upload a new video. And check us out on Instagram if you like, at AutoTopNL. So, a 2002 Toyota Corolla, and I have to say, the exterior, they really didn't try to make it look that sporty. It is just a regular Corolla. We do have this Toyota Sport badge here in the grille. I think the grille is a little bit different as well, and the front bumper. This is a pre-facelift model, so this is 2002. In 2005 it got a big facelift with changed exterior and everything. So apparently there's a big difference. I don't know because I've never seen one, but apparently there's a big difference. Now we do have these wheels are specific to the T-Sport as well, 16-inch, and they look nice and small and sporty with some Vredestein Sport Tracks tires on there as well. But look at that sidewall, that's a big sidewall for modern standards. But again, 2002, it's almost 20 years old. I mean, yes, you can see that it's an old car, but for that time, it's actually quite a good car. I'll show you some more on the inside later on. We've also got a VVTLI DOHC sticker on the side. This is what makes it a T-Sport, of course, the variable valve timing and lift, double overhead cam engine. So it's got a 1.8 liter, another Toyota Sport badge. Esmond also installed this custom exhaust or rear silencer, and it's got a lowering kit as well, so it's a bit lower, around 30 millimeters lower than stock, so that's quite a bit. And underneath here we've got the 1.8 VVTLI engine, as I said. So this is basically Toyota's version of VTEC. So it works the same, and when you hit 6200 RPM you can really hear it. You can hear VVTLI kicking in, so basically you can hear the lift kicking in, and it sounds really good, and you can really feel that something happens, which is nice. This bracing is also from the compressor version, so the bigger brother, and next to that lowering kit it also has some suspension parts from the compressor version. So that should make it handle a little bit better than stock, because stock, apparently it is very like loosey-goosey and a grandma car. Toyota Sport floor mats as well, which is nice. And I think that this is a Toyota Sport steering wheel too, with that perforated leather. Looks nice and sporty. And I mean, honestly, it's quite a spacious car for a car this size. I mean, the seating position is quite bad for me, but other than that, it actually looks pretty good. This is also, these seats are from the supercharger, the compressor version as well. So normally you get just all black, but this is apparently an upgrade. And Esmond also installed this TRD gear lever with that ball. It's really cool. It's really nice. It's a cool shifter. The gearbox itself is very loose. So apparently, again, in 2005 with the facelift they did improve this. They improved the shifter cables and stuff like that, but also the suspension. They lowered it, they changed the stabilizers, they changed, well, a lot on the suspension especially. The engine was exactly the same, but the suspension changed a lot because it handles, well, quite loose, and this is also quite loose. So apparently they improved on that, but I forgot to tell you the power. It's got 192 horsepower and 180 newton meters of torque from that 1.8 liter naturally aspirated engine, and the compressor version has 225. So it's got the same engine, but with a compressor, supercharger, and these are also the engines that you would find in a Lotus with the supercharger, the 1.8s. So it's actually quite a good engine and quite a well-known engine, but again, this car was I was quite unfamiliar with it. So with that, all that power figures, all those different cars, which I never heard of, out of the way, let's take it for a drive, because of course, that's what it's about. I really love this shifter. Looks really cool, and I just love that ball. All right, so let's find out what this almost 20-year-old car feels like on the road with that 2ZZGE engine in the front. Here we go. You could hear it. You can hear it so well. That's 6,200 RPM. We also have a traction control button on the left of the steering wheel. Click it once and it's off. Here we go. Listen. There it goes. That is the variable valve timing and lift intelligence doing its job. So what it does, it allows the intake and exhaust cams to open further and longer, which means that more oxygen and fuel goes into the engine, and that means that you get more power. So that's basically how it works. It's the same principle as a VTEC engine, and this is the only engine Toyota made that has this technology, or at least this was the first time they did it. It's also in the Toyota Celica. So now handling wise, I mean steering feel, stuff like that, it's not really there. As I said, with that facelift they improved the suspension and the shifter and stuff like that, so apparently they knew that it wasn't great. You just wonder why they didn't do it right in the first place, but so 0 to 100 according to Toyota 8.4 seconds, but it's way quicker than that. Martijn was able to do a 7.6 earlier, but with like brand new tires or a bit more practice, you should be able to get it way quicker than that. You know, with 192 horsepower, it's going to be quicker than 8.4 seconds. It's not that heavy. So Toyota was being a little bit modest when they were deciding what figures to publish, but 7.6, 7.5, around that should be doable quite easily. Alright, here we are at the Autobahn. So let's find out. I mean, that screaming engine is really cool. Those naturally aspirated hot hatches from like this era, the zeros, they are so much fun. Alrighty, here we go. Third gear. That's the red line, just over 8,000 RPM. It's not that fast, but there's a lot of noise. Or, well, it's not slow, but it's not as fast as the sound makes you feel. So top speed should be around 225 kilometers an hour, which we've actually been able to do around that. So really good for a 20-year-old car. And of course we also measured the 100 to 200 time. Which was 26.8 seconds, which is also not bad. I mean, it's almost 20 years old and it's still performing quite well. It's done over 200,000 kilometers, just over 200,000 kilometers, and I mean, it still feels it's quite fresh and well maintained. I mean, that engine just sings away like it just came out of the factory. I'm curious to see if you guys were aware of this car. Let me know in the comments. Maybe it's just that in the Netherlands they didn't sell that well, or I don't know. Maybe in other countries people know about these cars, but I was quite surprised that, you know, I've been doing this for 11 years and never really came across this car. Meanwhile, a Honda Civic Type R EP3 is super well known and everyone wants one, and this has basically the same recipe and never heard of it. So it's quite funny. I still can't believe that these engines are able to survive this for so long. I mean, over 200,000 kilometers of all this revving out. It's crazy. Oh, brakes are not great. Yeah, and it's still, even though it's been lowered, you still have that like a bit of a wobbly suspension, but it's fine. It works for this car. Little sound check. So with the facelift, they also made the steering rack a little bit quicker, from 3.5 turns lock to lock to 3.2, and you can feel that you actually need quite a bit of input to make this car go around the corner. So I guess that's a big improvement too. Anyway, this is a really cool car. So Esmond, thank you so much for applying, for sending us an email asking us if we wanted to drive your car, because it's always nice to drive a car that you never knew about and you actually quite like. So that's basically a summary of my review. Didn't know about it, like it now. And of course you also have that supercharged version, which should be even cooler with 225 horsepower. So if you're watching and you've got one of those Corolla compressors, please let us know and send us an email at the address which is on screen now, because I would love to drive it. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video or go check out this playlist. See you at the next one, guys. Bye.